Welcome to Topic A, everyone. I'm your host, Gary Perna. This week on Topic A, we're going to talk about the Luzerne County Child Advocacy Center, what it is, what they do, and how you can play a part in it as well. Plus, we're going to talk about some of the issues they see every day right here through our court system. This week on Topic A, stay with us. This great show is coming back right after the break.
For 4 generations, All-American Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has been treating their customers like family. Stop in to get the lowest financing options and best service around. Whether you're in need of a Ram pickup with a Snow Dog plow, or have an active family lifestyle, or simply want to show off your fun, adventurous side, All-American Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram of Tamaqua has a wide variety of inventory to choose from. Stop in now and take advantage of the spring sales event. Make the beer stop your stop for the best selection of beer in the area. Over 450 types of beer, a huge variety of styles to please everyone's tastes. Over 150 microbrews, including hard-to-find beers. Over 100 German and Belgian beers and frozen daiquiris to go. Do you like trying new beers? Make your own 6-pack at the beer stop with a large assortment of single bottles. The beer stop is open until midnight every day, all year long. Make the beer stop your stop. 16 North Broad Street in West Hazleton.
For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road, Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields. All stations are handicapped accessible, with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. There are packages available to fit anyone's budget, restaurant and catering on site. Our facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor and private parties. Call 570-384-2314.
Watch Off the Beaten Path on WYLN TV 35 and discover the Pennsylvania you never knew existed.
And welcome back to Topic A here on WYLN, everyone. Gary Perna. I'm very pleased to have with me the Executive Director of the Luzerne County Child Advocacy Center, Shannon Peduto. And thanks so much for coming on and talking with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, give us a little bit of a background of what the Luzerne County Child Advocacy Center is and how it got its start.
The Luzerne County Child Advocacy Center is a center to specifically help children who report being abused. Physical abuse, sexual abuse, and neglect. We also provide services to children who are drug endangered as well. The center was originated back in 2010 and was under the direction of the District Attorney's Office in Luzerne County. They felt that it would be an asset to have in our county. There's usually one child advocacy center per county right now, and the district attorney began it in 2010, and then in 2014 we became a separate nonprofit entity. So now we are our own agency. Even though we hold the Luzerne County name, it's mainly because we serve the Luzerne County children.
And this organization, it was started by in the district attorney's office back in 2010, and you've been with it from the beginning.
Correct, yes.
So you've seen how this has grown.
Correct.
But the number of cases now that you are involved in, I'm sure has to be astronomical compared to what it was in 2010.
Correct. When we first opened the doors in 2010, we had about 155 children that came through and families. Last year in 2017, we had 540 children and families that have come through. For a few years there, we were actually gaining 100 children and families per year that were needing our services. Now that we've reached the 500 range, it's kind of averaging out more. We like to credit it to the fact that there's more education and more awareness out there. Not that it's happening more, but more people are aware, more people are reporting. The laws have changed since we first opened the doors in 2010.
And I could, with the services you're providing, or we're going to get into them in just a little bit, but the services you're providing, it's part of really the district attorney's office, along with children and youth, along with police departments, the detectives agency. So there's a lot that plays into your part of it as well. And your group primarily focuses on the children and how they're affected.
Correct.
So what exactly happens when you get the phone call to come onto a case?
We actually, even though we are a separate nonprofit entity, we work as a multidisciplinary team.
Okay.
So it's not just us working with abuse cases in the county. What we do, we always say we're the host of everything. So it's a child-friendly center that is brought to the child, to the family, but we actually bring in the DA's office. We bring in children and youth, law enforcement, we have medical that can take place there as well. In order to have a case come to our center, you have to have a referral from children and youth or law enforcement. Okay. And the main reason that is to just make sure that there's accountability. We create the child-friendly atmosphere where the child can be comfortable to provide a disclosure. But once that happens, we can't take it further, which is why we have a multidisciplinary team. So children and youth can make sure that that child is in a safe environment, a safe place. The district attorney's office can then prosecute. Law enforcement that can then make an arrest. So we just bring all parties to the house, we call it. It's actually in a 3-story home, so it's a comfortable setting for the children and families.
And the services you provide, now we just talked about being, kind of the leader in it and bringing everybody together. What services do you provide specifically to the children, to the families, when you guys are brought in?
There are 3 main components that we provide to each child and family who comes in. So we have family advocacy services, which will provide services to the child, to the families, do referrals, provide mental health assistance to them. We have forensic interviewers on staff, where a specialized person who is trained to talk and speak with children who have gone through trauma to help them to come out and speak and provide a disclosure of what had happened to them. So we have that component. We also have a medical component where if a child claims abuse has happened to them, we can collect evidence, or we can just even do a well exam to make sure that they're healthy. And all of it is free of charge to every single family.
Wow. Right in the beginning of this, we said, you said the numbers, so we've grown, about 500 now. And seeing the large uptick lately of cases of abuse that have been happening, is it a number that is because, number one, it's happening more? Number two, is it because more people now are willing to come out and talk about it? I mean, we hear stories where people for decades would suppress it and not talk about it because they thought it brought shame to their family. What have we seen now, and what are we doing differently to get people to open up about it and to go to facilities and to go to authorities and say, listen, I've been a victim?
Basically what's happening is the laws are changed. There's more high-profile cases coming out that have been happening in the news that are highlighting that abuse is taking place. So it's no longer something that's happening in the shadows, and people aren't afraid to come out and speak about it or to give a disclosure or share what happened to them. So we have people who are now disclosing because there's education, where if you're brought up in this environment in a family, you may not know that this is not something normal that happens in a family. This is not how you show love in a family if there's sexual abuse happening. But then suddenly as you get older, you're in school, you're with other families and friends, and you see that other people don't do this. And you're taught that this is something that's not okay and it's not healthy for something to happen like this in your family. And just through that education, you're able to determine, this is what's going on to me, I need to tell somebody. And what I always say to people when I go out and talk, imagine telling the worst thing that has ever happened to you in your life to strangers. And not only doing it as an adult, but doing it as a child, an 8-year-old. It's a scary thing to do. And when you're threatened, which is usually the case, that if you tell somebody in your family will be hurt, you don't want to. So many times, 2% of the cases that we have of child abuse disclosures actually have evidence, because people don't tell right away. It's something that may have happened a month ago, a year ago, or even 10 years ago.
And that's what my next question was going to be, the statute of limitation, how does that apply? If somebody comes into your office, and they say this happened a few years ago, where's that line, or is there one to a case like this?
Well, this is why we work as such a great multidisciplinary team, because we bring in the district attorney's office. So if there was ever a question of statute of limitations, things like that, we can reference the DA's office to say, what can we do about this? Has it been too long? But in most cases, we only serve children between birth and 18. Okay. So usually the abuse is within a few years time frame, that the statute of limitations usually does not fall within our parameters. Okay. Usually that will affect adults. So we don't come across that a lot, but if we ever do, we work so closely with other agencies and entities that any situation that arises, we work as a team to make it good.
All right, we're going to stop right there and take a break. The Luzerne County Child Advocacy Center, located in Wilkes-Barre. Their phone number, website has been up on your screen, LuzerneCountyCAC.org. Their phone number, 570-208-2895. A lot of great information on their website, but when we come back here on Topic A, we'll delve a little bit more into exactly what they do and how you can also be part of it with some great events that are coming up to make sure that this organization, who helps so many, sticks around. Stay with us here on Topic A, everyone. We'll be right back after this.
At the Joyce Insurance Group, we offer insurance tailored to your needs. We protect what matters most to you.
We've been serving the needs of thousands of clients throughout Northeast Pennsylvania since 1955.
Our professional agents are dedicated to providing you with a great insurance experience.
With 62 years in business, our clients are the reason that we care the most.
Ask any of our 5,000 plus satisfied customers, and they'll tell you the right choice is Joyce.
What's on TV? Plenty. WYLN TV 35, the best in local programming.
Non-attorney spokesperson. Attention! Have you been seriously injured or has a loved one been killed in a motor vehicle accident?
Call 800-305-5643.
For a free legal case review, you may be entitled to compensation. Personal injuries can happen at any point in your lifetime, and in a few seconds, you or a loved one may suffer debilitating injuries that could change your life forever. For over 25 years, the Pulaski Law Firm has been an advocate for those who have been seriously injured. Let the lawyers at the Pulaski Law Firm get the compensation you may justly deserve. If you have been seriously injured and suffered permanent injuries, burns, and broken bones, or a loved one has been killed because of a car, truck, or motorcycle accident,
call 800-305-5643.
Get some peace of mind now.
Call 800-305-5643.
For a free consultation, you may be entitled to compensation.
Call 800-305-5643.
Today's households are using more connected devices than ever before. TVs are streaming, smartphones are browsing, security cameras are watching, and virtual assistants are, well, assisting.
You'll need an umbrella today.
As you add more devices, we are constantly improving our technology to deliver the fastest and most reliable internet to your home. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get SECV high-speed internet free for 2 months. Call 877-955-SECV today.
In a world where an instant tweet can create a firestorm of news coverage, WYLN is moving with the times, allowing for more instant reporting of breaking news on television and on social media, as well as regular hourly news updates. News gets out faster than ever before, and WYLN brings it all to you. Live weekdays at 5:30 only on WYLN. We're your local network. Welcome back to Topic A here on WYLN, and today we are talking with Shannon, who is Executive Director of the Luzerne County Child Advocacy Center, which is located in Wilkes-Barre on Hanover Street. Their website, LuzerneCountyCAC.org, and their phone number, 570-208-2895. And Shannon, I want to ask you, if somebody right now would call that number, the 208 number, to your facility, who would they get? Can they report abuse? How does this happen?
If that number is called to our center, basically they would have one of our staff members answering the phone for them, which we do. This happens a lot. There's something going on, or I think something's going on. From there, we would refer them to Childline. We would refer them to Children and Youth if it's applicable, or to their local law enforcement department. From there, any one of those entities would take the ball, run with it, and get all parties involved in the county that need to know what's going on.
And how do you get involved? And I mean, I know we're talking about children from birth up to 18, so those are juvenile records. We rarely talk about it. When it is on the news, it is just identified as maybe by an age, and male or female. But your cases, and I said this when we were in break, I could never imagine doing your job, and I commend you and your staff for doing this, and I cannot imagine the things you hear or go through. But could you walk us through what would happen, what a case is, and how it works, and why is it so important for these individuals, especially children, and for parents to teach their children that this isn't right, that these are not good things, and why it's important to open up to professionals like you, the police, the district attorney's office?
When I grew up on stranger danger. Don't go to the person who's got the candy in the van. To be honest, that still exists, but that's not what child abuse is about anymore. Child abuse is taking place within family situations where perpetrators have access to children in a close setting, so it's usually somebody that they trust. 90% of our cases are family members or somebody living in the home. So cases like this usually, and also sexual abuse is prevalent right now, more so than physical abuse. So you have a case where it may be mom's boyfriend, or it could be a father, a mother, anything happening, a sexual abuse case where a child is being sexually abused for years at a time. It starts as just grooming, getting the trust built. From there, it just escalates slower and slower and slower until it becomes where the child is being threatened that if you tell, if this stops, somebody in the family will be hurt. And that's how that power is obtained. Most of the people that we see as perpetrators are adults. So the children that we see coming in are victims in these cases. What is happening to them is private. They are victims, they are youth, but they do come through, they are receiving the help, and then from there the perpetrators, we usually find as well, it's either generational, or these perpetrators have more than one victim, and the furthest generational abuse that we have seen at our center was 5 generations of abuse.
Wow.
So this is what we're trying to prevent at this point. This is why our center exists, because these children are heading down a path where they themselves may become defendants or perpetrators because they don't know what's wrong, or they can't handle the trauma of every day. We're seeing more children that are committing suicide because they can't handle what happened to them because it was a family member doing this to them and someone that they've trusted. So with that, the reason our center exists is to take these kids from one path and turn them to put them on a path where they can get past the trauma. And some of these kids are actually becoming advocates for other children. Most recently at an event that we had, our speaker was actually a victim of child sexual abuse. She is now out there in public speaking to other children about what you can do. You can be successful, and this is how you can overcome that situation.
And I think right now we're seeing a lot more people talking about it. We see the Me Too movement. We see a lot more of this in the media where people are calling out, especially high power people who are accused of this, and it does trickle down to locally, to your neighborhoods. I said I grew up in a very tight-knit community, maybe 500 people, if that, lived in the community, and when one thing would happen, you would be sitting there going, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that this was a nice person, they were always talking, it was nice. But there are these dark, deep secrets that, you're right, have gone on for generations. When you are pulled into a case and speaking with the individual who's been a victim, these are not just average people. You and your group are specially trained for this. You
Correct.
Have qualifications, years of experience. So these aren't just volunteers off the street. These are highly trained individuals to deal with this, and sometimes even have to bring specialists in.
Correct. Everyone that works at the center is specially trained, and not specially trained where we just have a training here for an hour. This is where they're sent out of state to go to a national training to receive hours and hours of training. The interviewers that are actually currently employed at our center have already done over 600 interviews per interviewer because of the high rate of them. So it's something that it's almost a specialty, because when you're sitting down with these children and speaking with them, you don't want to re-traumatize. So you want to give them the power and the trust to be able to disclose to you. So there's special techniques that we use in our center to make sure that this child is no longer traumatized. That's why we exist.
I've said this, I could not imagine doing your job and the people who work in there, and I applaud you. With your center being a nonprofit, a 501c3, there are a lot of needs, especially in your field. And if you go to the website, and one thing when I was browsing the website for this, I saw your wish list. And I kind of thought, well, this is interesting. So explain what the wish list is and how important is it to provide some of these comforts for the children who are going through some of the most traumatic events of their life.
Most of the families and children that we see are low-income families. It is a rarity that somebody who is wealthy and high profile will come through. They're less likely to report than somebody who is a low-income family. They need the help, they need the assistance. So when they come through, we see a lot of kids who are first low-income families. Then they're pulled out of their home and put in foster care. Some of these kids are taken to foster care with nothing, no pajamas, no anything. So when they come to our center and receive services, we make sure that there are comfort items for them. And we say comfort items because it could be pajamas, it could be toiletry items to take with them that they don't have because they left their house with the clothes on their back. Blankets, pillowcases, stuffed animals, things to make them feel at home, because not only were they yanked out of their family once they told somebody that this was happening, now they're living with strangers and they're meeting a whole bunch of other strangers who they're supposed to trust. It's a difficult situation to have to go through. So because of that, the wish list is so important for us. All of our services to all 500 and plus families and children each year are free. We never charge them anything. So it's not like when you go, you charge them for services, they pay you for what's going on. We, myself, my staff, we do fundraisers, we put a wish list out because we feel that it's our responsibility and our mission to make sure these families are taken care of, and no financial responsibility has to go to them. That is our burden to bear because it's our passion to help these families. So I encourage anybody to please, it could be something as small as a teddy bear, and to us it's not small, a book, a teddy bear, crayons. These kids, it means everything. When you see their faces light up because they receive something just that's theirs, that they can own and make them feel safe again, it's amazing.
It is. All right, we're going to take a short break. The wish list is on the website LUZERNECAC.org. And right up there at the top, the wish list, along with a lot of information about what they provide, about the 501c3 events that are going on. All that is on the website. And of course, you can call Shannon and her staff as well. We'll be right back here on Topic A. Stay with us.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about visiting a restaurant that has a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the types of things that we will be featuring on our new show, Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. Jeff Bonomo, host of Off the Beaten Path, welcomes you into the world of craft beer, great wine, and good eats. Wine, Hops, and Road Stops.
Space Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years. Tune in each week to WYLN TV 35 to watch the #1 Hazleton-based broadcasted television talk show, The Storm, hosted by Tiffany Cloud. Candidates, politicians, community leaders, and more appear on The Storm when they want to be heard. New shows air Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and these additional airtimes. Only on WYLN TV 35, we're your local network.
Back, and I want to dive right into this question with Shannon. We hear more and more of stories with maybe husbands being abusive towards wives and their children, wives afraid to leave for fear that the husband could come after them. Where there have been abuse to the wife, to the children, but they're just afraid of the consequences. What's your advice to them? If somebody's watching who may know the situation, who may be in that situation, what's the advice you have to them to seek help?
I encourage anybody either experiencing it or seeing it to please report it to someone. Even if it's a child who can go to school and find somebody safe at school, a guidance counselor, a teacher that they love to be with, somebody that they can tell, because there's so many people these days that are mandated reporters. They will come, they will help, but the services are there. Nobody knows that we exist until they need us. So we are here, please report, please say something. We have a community of people who are there to help.
Quickly, you have 2 events coming up, one relatively soon, the other one in September that we have time to get in shape for. But again, all this goes back to help the center to function. So talk about the gala, and then there's a 5K run.
Yes, we have our gala coming up on Saturday, April 28th. It's a fabulous 50 sock hop. Mohegan Sun Pocono is where it will be from 6 to 11. And we're also on September 15th having our first 5K run, which will be at Kirby Park in Wilkes-Barre. All the proceeds from that go back to providing free services to all of the children and families that we serve.
We've had the information up throughout the show, the phone number, the website. If they want to learn more about the events going on or how maybe they can donate or be a part of it, go to the website. What should they look up?
Actually, on the website, we try to make sure that all of our main events have their own page. So the gala right now has its own page. The 5K page will be coming as well. You can always call our center for any information. Any of our staff members would be glad to provide it as well.
And if there is maybe a business or an organization out there who is relatively large and wants to partner with you to make sure those services are provided, they can do that?
Yes, we encourage it. Again, none of the families are charged for anything. So we try to raise as much funds as we can. And again, we're providing free medical services, free interviews, free advocacy services, referral services. All of that is very pricey. But again, we will do whatever we have to do to make sure these children are safe.
And again, you are one of 8 members in there who are responsible for the entire Luzerne County with this. Unbelievable the things you do. And again, I said this through the whole show. I praise you guys. I thank you for your job. I know it probably, with some of these things, cannot be an easy job someday. But listen, when I called and we were setting this up, everyone I talked to on the phone, getting to you, was kind, courteous, no problem. It worked out. So a great organization. Shannon, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Again, if you want to learn more information about the Luzerne County Child Advocacy Center, you can log on to their website, LuzerneCountyCAC.org. You can call them at 570-208-2895. They're located on Hanover Street in Wilkes-Barre. If you need these services, please do not hesitate. You can call the center. If you know of somebody or yourself has been in an abusive, your child, something has happened, please seek help. We see more and more cases now. Please get help. Don't be afraid to do that. Thanks for joining us here on Topic, everyone. We'll see you next time here and only here on WYLN.